Oh, this is pressure. You want to talk about pressure, son? I'm tattooing her parents, son.
Right.
She know what they look like.
Top tier.
I know what that picture looks like.
Yeah.
Most these sheeple move like clones. That's why I be on my own. My mama thought tats were a joke, but Miss Jacci told me I'm dope. Yeah, I'm dope. Damn right, I'm dope. Miss Jacci told me I'm
Dope.
There you go.
Ashe family, how you doing? It's your girl QueenBeeInk, and welcome. I'm so hyped today, y'all, to the Honey Dip, where we dip into ink, conversations, culture, connection, and community through the ancient practice of tattooing. And today, I am honored and humbled to be tattooing the legend, Miss Jacci Gresham. Everybody give it up. Yes, the one and only. She's amazing, and I'm here, and I'm tattooing it. Watch out now.
I love it.
And the first woman to tattoo.
The first woman, first black woman, revered elder, son. Like, listen, okay? My story, y'all know my story. If not, I will tell it again. But I wouldn't have that story. And you don't get to talk to your elders usually. Like, you don't get to have these conversations with the people who broke the mold in the first place. So, like, this is super exciting and humbling because our starts were at completely different times, but they're still so similar. And she's amazing. Like, to deal with, well, we're gonna get into all that, but I just wanted to introduce Miss Jacci, and I'm hyped. So,
I love it.
I'm gonna watch as soon as I get brave enough. Oh man, this is a piece of cake.
Are you touched skin already?
oh yeah, we tattooing.
You're posting.
Right, oh man.
Working. I'm about to finish.
Hey, you know, I am dedicated. I mean, I did want my parents, but I am truly dedicated to tattooing because I had missed the boat because everything was coil.
Yeah.
You know, and when I got my first tattoo, I got it from Ed Hardy. And you know, I knew nothing. I mean, you know, I had.
Are you getting this? Okay, I'm just making sure because she just said she got tatted by Ed Hardy, son.
Right.
Listen.
And I had done all the drawing flash and all that kind of stuff, but I was coloring tattoos before I actually started lining, but I didn't know nothing. So Ed Hardy was one of the best at the time, so I went out there to him to get a tattoo, so I learned something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's how you learn, is to go and get tattooed and to.
But you go to good people. You don't just go to anybody, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I remember I was buying a machine from Bob Shaw, and he was on the Pike in San Diego, I believe it was. And he was going to give me a free tattoo. I didn't care for his style. I said, you kidding me? I don't think so. And I knew they thought this was an uppity little black girl, you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Like, I don't like your stuff, though.
I didn't, and I wasn't getting it on me.
How amazing. That is so crazy. And what year was this?
I got my first tattoo in '79. I started tattooing full time in '76. But I had tattooed in Detroit with Bill Pogue, and he's the guy who's got the tattoo school in Shreveport.
Yeah.
And you know what he did? He just handed me a machine, and I guess I just went for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know. But I did something a little bitty, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
You know.
That's crazy.
But I was just so scared that I would mess somebody up.
That's
you know?
me. You know when yeah. Because
You have to go in with a certain ego.
Right,
you know?
right.
And then coming from, you know what I'm saying, mama, like she the GOAT, she paved the way. So I'm like, I can't be walking around here messing up no tattoos.
Right? Oh, pressure.
I'm like, what? Oh, get off from around here, girl. You don't know how to tattoo like that.
But you know, even when I'm tattooing now, a lot of the apprentices and artists, they don't care. So at my age, it's like, I can do better than that. I mean, if you guys would do the right thing, I wouldn't be tattooing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, so many people just don't have the heart that they should have for what it is we do.
It's become very corporate and commercial. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons I started even doing this kind of series is because I feel like tattooing, especially from a tribal standpoint and cultural standpoint with black people who have, you know, been lost, and we don't have our true connection to our ancestral culture, that the practice of tattooing should be, and it is, much more sacred and intimate and a way to connect in general. And just talking to people and all the conversations I've had, and I've only been tattooing 11 years this year, and so, like, I'm still young in the game, you know, and I'm still learning and connecting with all these different amazing people. I mean, we might as well be therapists, you know, as tattooists.
You're right.
We hear everybody's stuff.
Yeah, because I sit there and I get to know my clients.
Exactly.
Talk to them. And every tattoo I did, I remember, like, where I was and what they had to say. Like, I feel like that creates a bond between you and your client.
We're literally like the community storytellers when we ink it on.
It sets the tone as well too when you're there listening to them. Like, it's not about money. I'm here to, you know, show you my talents, but also listen, you know, as well.
And create good work. That's it.
But you know, when you think about it, when you have these clients, people always talk about it, well, it's an honor for me to tattoo you. It's an honor that you chose me to tattoo you.
Yeah. It's a blessing.
It is a blessing. And I'm so glad to see more black people getting into it and having that opportunity.
Yes, and getting into it and doing it the right way. Yeah, and not just scratching and doing hood tats. Because when I started, I didn't have any tattoos either. And I had never even been in a tattoo shop because everybody in Memphis that I knew had hood tats. Okay, they all had baby daddy names, you know, the jail tats, stuff like that. And that didn't interest me. I had a bachelor's of fine arts, and I thought that I was an artist, and tattooing was not what I was interested in. And so I didn't even know that the tattoo industry had such a wealth of art in it.
And back in the day, I mean, I did everything to kind of put tattooing on the map. I mean, my whole thing was to put fashion with tattooing back there. And they didn't understand me at all, and I didn't care back then, and still don't. But they had the old biker mentality, you know, and that's I think it was '86 when I wore the big hat and the dress with the slits up the side and all that.
I was born.
Trying to get some class to the art of tattooing, and even today, when they talk about tattoos and fashion, the women that are showing the fashion don't necessarily have good art on them.
Yeah, it's just about naked girls.
It's about
nothing to do with actual
young
fashion.
girls. Yeah.
And white, because they are absolutely overwhelmingly white young ladies with tattoos. And some of them have amazing tattoos, but it's not even about that at all. It's just a way for them to be able to have soft porn.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You know, which is whatever, but call it what it is, you know. So I want to start by asking you about the whole journey. Give me, we gonna be here for a minute. So,
I think we are. Plan to spend the day. The journey has been to see basically it go from people just picking out something on the wall to real art now that artists do. I mean, artists. You know,
Yes,
now
yes.
tattoo artists
But it's custom. It's more custom.
It's much
instead
more
of
custom.
a factory kind of thing.
Right, because at one time when I got in it, they had a stencil and they always, when I got in it, they used the Thermofax. But before that, they had the plastic a stencil with the powder. And so it was very, very simple then. But as time evolved, you got more and more detail. And I think that I was one of the people to help push that, because it was just so boring doing Harley shields and, you know, over and over
Same
a motor. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And so, actually, when I come up here again, I'm gonna find my book and show you what I was doing in the early 80s. Now, it may not be at the level this is, but I tell you, we would be doing monkeys and stuff like that. You'd do it with a shader. You wouldn't do it with the liner. You know, so many things, but people at that time didn't appreciate it.
No.
And at that time, I didn't work a lot on black skin. I didn't really start working on black skin, I believe, I'd say the mid-90s.
Really?
Mid-90s.
So was it just a community thing, you think? Just because black people weren't getting tattoos in the same way, or when they did, they were getting them in like jail or something like that, rather than going to an actual shop?
I believe that's true, because the black people didn't want to spend money on tattoos actually until the entertainers and athletes got tattoos, you know? Otherwise, everything was pretty much hand poked is what I saw, you know? I remember seeing Aaron Neville, and he got hand stuck tattoos for days, okay? And I was so excited to see him, and I said to him, I said I would do a tattoo on you for free. He didn't accept it from me, but he went out there to LA and let these other people do something, you know? But when I came to New Orleans, black people got hand stuck tattoos. And I tell you another thing, I think the reason black people had gotten hand stuck tattoos is because the type of people who had tattoo studios made it known
that they did not like us.
They made it known they were gonna make you uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I saw there's a guy that came from Sacramento, California, and he got a dragon all the way down his butt. But you know that dragon was so deep you could feel it like Braille. So the person who tattooed him, I would say, was pretty prejudiced, because you don't have to go deep like that.
You really don't.
You don't.
It's just skin.
He was hurting him on purpose. But his whole, I mean, it went from his shoulder all the way down his leg. And it was like, I think I got a picture of him somewhere in the shop. And he had to be, but I mean, he endured it, but that was unnecessary.
It was absolutely.
So it probably took very long to heal. By him
But it was deep, you know?
When you was starting off, like, did you think that you were gonna have like such a hostile time in the industry when you first got in?
Now remember, I came from Michigan, so it was much more open there than in the South. I really did not realize how partial people are in the South, you know? When I mean, back then, some of my friends, gay friends, we went everywhere and did everything, right?
Yeah.
But when I got down to New Orleans, they did gay bashes and stuff like that. You know? I remember they had a t-shirt that everybody wore. God made Hondas to keep niggers off of Harleys. Stuff like that. And it was sold in the Harley shop.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it was a lot of negativity, and I think probably, I think more than anything, I must have just, it was like over my head. I just ignored it. You know what I mean? But I knew, and still often know, that when I go to conventions and stuff, some of those old timers, they are pissed that I'm still in the business, but they give me respect. Because I am in the business still. But up until, and I'm not telling you no lie, up until 5 years ago, when you went to a convention, there was one person, black person with a booth.
Yeah, that's how it was. Even
I'm telling you, I think in 5 years ago, and that's 2015.
yeah, I mean, when I first went to a convention, like most of the conventions I went to, I was the only black person, and I was always the only black woman up until 2019, 2018, when I first started seeing any other black people at these, and then the smaller conventions especially, like the bigger cities, you would get more diverse people, but it's an interesting thing I've always noticed is, and this only applies to black Americans, is that every other culture gets respect in the tattoo industry. Hispanics, Asian, Samoan, Islanders, every other culture, even in art in general, every other culture gets respect. People go and buy a geisha and put it up on their wall. They'll go and buy a Hispanic artwork or a native artwork and put it up. They'll buy African art and put it up. But black American, they not going and buying it like, I'm talking just like anybody, like and put it on their wall. They're not, only black people buy black art, you know, for a long time. This has been like the thing, and people just don't respect black culture and black people at all, and ignore us to the highest
But a lot
point.
of times, black people
Invented it.
don't want to acknowledge their blackness. You know what I mean? Like I can remember, I think it was probably early 90s, something like that. Black people would come in and get kanjis. And you'd say, why don't you get, you know, a black symbol, African symbol? Oh no, I think I was the first person to actually, we did flash in the 90s, black flash. And in Louisiana, black people wouldn't buy it. In DC, black people would buy it, you know? So you have the fight where people they seem to be in denial, you know what I mean? They don't see. And in all the art that I've got, I have put black people on me, and a lot of times people, they don't acknowledge that the art is pretty decent. They're not used to it, you know? But I was really excited to see more black women getting into tattoos.
Yes.
But check this out, I go to conventions, I'd be all excited to seeing a black woman and walk up there to talk to people. These people would have their nose up in the air like this. They wouldn't talk to me, and then somebody say, you know what that is? That's Jacci Gresham, blah, blah, blah. And then they come following me, run around behind me, and I'm like, what is this? Because I was the one that was excited to see them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, getting rude, I think, gets you nowhere. I don't know why people act all funky and stuff. It's tattooing. It's not like...
But some of the women, I guess it's some kind of ego trip or something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know exactly what it is, but, you know, I'd go to... I tattooed up in Sturgis years ago in the 80s. Yeah, when you could count all the black people on one hand.
Oh,
I tattooed up there.
Fucking Sturgis, man.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
That's hardcore. But I think how I get away with it is I try to be myself, and even when other people are negative, I'm positive.
And that's it.
You know, you're going to get that. I mean, you know and realize what's going on. Like I'm so annoyed. I've been so annoyed. I was just screaming out, where are all the black people in this convention? You see all these black people tattooing, and black people can't get a booth, and blah, 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 blah. You know, Bill and Art is letting just about anybody in now, you know. But up until then, I don't remember seeing black people being able to get a tattoo.
But a lot of black artists, outside of the few who, you know, really stuck with it, were not producing the best work.
Well.
And we weren't able to get in to learn to produce the best work. And then we also, a lot of people weren't doing the critique thing we were talking about. Like, they weren't giving critiques of themselves, and they had too big of egos. And that's one thing I've noticed a lot. But I'm glad that so many people are now starting to recognize and learn and be able to get better and improve, and not just be like, yeah, I tattoo, I'm the hardest tattooer in XYZ city.
Or just taking the money for the trade, from the trade.
All right, so I'm almost done. I need to do some highlights.
Okay.
So I'm going to spray it down, let it sit for a minute.
My question is, are you still, there you go, you answered it. white.
Yes.
Okay, the
I
reason.
just do it in my eyes.
I know.
On my
Just to
lips.
make
That ain't gonna last, but that's okay.
No, it's for picture purposes.
It's
I
for
always
picture
tell people
purposes.
it's for the picture.
But after 40 years, can you complain? The white not being there?
No, I mean.
But that's what they did back then. I got this tattoo in 80, maybe 2. So we're talking 40 years. But it sure looks good when you leave.
You took it like a champ, Mom.
Well, you know, I always told people the reason I got tattoos is because my family has varicose veins. So I got the tattoos to cover up the varicose veins. Now my excuse is to cover up crepe skin. I'm gonna get you some business you don't even want.
Awesome. I need to hit this earring.
Yeah, so that's my new excuse. I mean, maybe we'll get all the geriatrics getting tattoos now.
Mom, you look just like your mom. I just like looking at her. It just makes me think of your girl, your little girl picture that you have.
Yeah, I like it when I was a kid.
Like,
You know why I got this?
Eyebrow and this.
I got this because I don't have children. It makes me appreciate people who are parents more than I ever have because of what my parents have gone through with me and the time and the years and all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
it's a big difference being an auntie than a mom.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Because I feel like being a parent, that's a big responsibility for me. I have a rabbit and she gives me the blues.
And you're a parent as long as you are alive, or you are, you know, and so that's what is the difference. So I figured I owed it to them, have them on me forever.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. I love it. I was like, whoo, parents, whoo, whoo. Okay. Thank you so much, Jacci Gresham, for blessing me with your presence. I cannot explain to you enough how amazing this experience was and this interview was. I am grateful. Ashe, gratitude.